It's incredibly confusing, and a lot of people are asking a lot of questions about it, so I'm going to do my best to break it down and talk you through why I just did the things I did. It's Molly with AllEars, and I'm here today at Hollywood Studios with a brand new video and a brand new challenge. We are bringing back the ride challenges, friends, and this time I'm going to use the brand new Disney Genie system. There are unlucky 13 attractions in this park that offer the Lightning Lane, and I'm going to see if I can book a time for every single one of them. That includes Rise of the Resistance, that includes Tower of Terror, Slinky Dog Dash, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Smuggler's Run, and so many more. Can we do it? Only one way to find out. We'll share tips and tricks along the way. I hope you're ready. Lights, camera, action. So if you're unaware, Disney Genie is a service that rolled out at this point about 2 weeks ago, and it is the new planning service at Walt Disney World. It has 3 different levels. There's a free Genie planning service that has a tip board, that has customizable itineraries. There's Genie Plus, which is paid FastPass Plus essentially. It's $15 per person per day, and it gets you access to over 40 different attractions across all 4 parks, but it doesn't include some of the best rides in the parks, which I call fancy rides, which are an additional cost that you pay per ride. So here at Hollywood Studios today, we have 11 Genie Plus attractions and 2 fancy rides. And we've already booked a lot of stuff, so let's go get a coffee and talk about it. A lot's already happened. It's only 9:30 and so many things have happened. I feel like Flynn Rider.
I love
all the things we've seen and done, and it's only 6 in the morning. I botched the Flynn Rider quote. Oh, the things we've seen and done, and it's only 8 in the morning. All right, we need coffee. Coffee acquired in a very long line, but we're ready to start our day and head to our first Lightning Lane attraction. First things first, there's a lot of ground to cover, but first things first, a Lightning Lane, whenever I say that, that's just the physical entrance at the attraction. It's what replaced the FastPass line. There's nothing, both fancy rides and regular Genie Plus rides have Lightning Lanes. It's just the place you're gonna go to. As we stroll to our first Genie Plus spot of the day, let's talk about what happens when you buy Genie Plus. So you can buy Genie Plus in advance for every day of your ticket, or you can buy it day of, starting at midnight for just one day. I personally so far believe that you don't need it every day, especially at parks like Animal Kingdom and Epcot. You may not need it most times, but parks like Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom may be more of a benefit. You can ride each ride once in the Lightning Lane, but you can park hop. There are also 2 attractions at each park called individual attraction selections, or as I call them, fancy rides, which are an additional cost per person. You can only book 2 of those per person per day, not per park. So if you're park hopping, you can't book 4. You can book 2 per day. When you select a time, you are locking in yourself to a particular time for that attraction, purchasing it, and that's your time. It's like buying a movie ticket. You cannot modify it, you cannot change it, but you do get to pick what time you'd like it. However, for the Genie Plus attractions, it's like old FastPass. It's next available. Remember when you'd walk up to an old FastPass machine and it would say, you're getting Fast Passes for 1 to 2 p.m. And you were just like, thank you for giving me this. That's what this is like, but it's just digital. It's not like FastPass Plus, where you could select what time you wanted. This is very confusing, I know. Hope you're still with me. And I hope the beautiful graphics my editor has put on this screen has made this easier. So, when can you book all of these things? Well, this morning, bright and early, I bought Genie Plus, and then you can book your first Genie Plus Lightning Lane at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Of course, the most popular ones at Hollywood Studios are Slinky Dog Dash, which you probably thought we were going to and we walked right past, and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I watched before my very eyes Slinky Dog go from a 9 o'clock window, which was the first window possible, to like a 1 o'clock window in minutes. And then I kept watching it go to a 6 o'clock window. So it fills up real fast. We'll get into more caveats, but it can change. We're gonna get into it, but I watched it fill up very fast. Not for the whole day, but it was moving quick. I originally meant to get Smuggler's Run as early as possible, and then I panicked and got Slinky Dog because that's what everyone does. But Slinky Dog wasn't for many hours out, and I didn't want to not have one for many hours. We'll get into the 120-minute rule if you know what that is. I'll explain it, so don't worry. So I kept a fiddling, and I kept a faddling, and I eventually was able to pull at 10:05 for Smuggler's Run. Because Smuggler's Run fills up the second fastest, and the times kept moving to, 10, then 11, then 12, then 2, then at one point they were at like 4, but then I was able to refresh enough times to get it at 10 a.m. So we are starting our day on the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. When I say refreshed, I mean I pulled down on the tip board, because the tip board on the app is where you can see all the attractions in the park. You can pin your favorites, and it will show you the current wait time and the next available return time. And again, remember, you're getting whatever you click. You're getting whatever it says. So I kept pulling down, and the numbers will change because availability will change, and sometimes it jumps backwards. So sometimes it'll be showing you like 4, 4:15, 4:30, and then it's like new, and you're like, so I booked that. You cannot modify a Genie Plus selection, however you can cancel it and rebook it. So it's a dicey game, but with enough perseverance it can be done. The other thing that happened this morning is I was able to book my fancy rides. Wow, it is loud in space. The other thing that happened this morning, I was able to book my fancy rides TM. Now, if you are a Walt Disney World Resort guest, you can book your fancy ride starting at 7 a.m. and everybody goes for Rise of the Resistance as they should. By the time I could book a fancy ride TM, it wasn't until 9 o'clock, because that's what time Hollywood Studios opens. You don't have to be in the park, but if you're not a resort guest, you can't book fancy rides until the park's opening time. So 9 o'clock is when Hollywood Studios opens. 9 o'clock is when I could book my fancy ride pass for Rise of the Resistance. I couldn't get a time before 7:15. 7:15 p.m. This is 9 o'clock in the morning, and I just booked a ride 10 hours later. I then also thought strategically and booked Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway around 11:30. So, enough chitter chatter. We got 2 minutes to go till I can get on the Millennium Falcon. So it's time to chug this coffee. Coffee, drink, time to party on Smuggler's Run, which already is a 55-minute wait. This is a great attraction to rope drop if you're coming to the park. Thank you. Especially as a non-resort guest. If you are a resort guest, I'm going to highly recommend rope dropping either Slinky Dog or Rise of the Resistance. But by the time the non-resort guests can get in, those are both going to have really long lines. Both of them had over an hour. But Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run still had like a 15-minute wait for a good part of the day when the park had officially opened. So consider rope dropping this one, or of course using that lightning lane. This is, again, the second most difficult one to get. So you can get it pretty easily first thing in the morning, but it will have farther out times throughout the day. This is a good time to talk about that if attractions can sell out or not. Genie Plus itself cannot sell out, but selections, rides could become unavailable the way they could in Old Fast Pass Plus. Like, you might not be able to get a Slinky Dog or a popular attraction later in the day. There wouldn't be any times available. However, they do keep popping back up if you keep refreshing. Yesterday I was watching these. Smuggler's Run was gone, and then it was back, and then it was gone, and then it was back. So don't lose hope, but do prioritize the difficult ones, which are Smuggler's Run and Slinky Dog in this park. However, fancy rides can sell out for the whole day. Haven't stopped moving yet, and we made it into the pre-show.
I am Hondo Onaka, and this is Onaka Transport Solutions. Today, I am offering the opportunity of a lifetime.
This is possibly the coolest part of this attraction, is boarding the actual Millennium Falcon. It looks just like it did in the films. If you're not familiar with this attraction or haven't been on it, it is a simulator that it simulates you flying the Millennium Falcon, but you actually get to fly it as either a pilot, an engineer, or a gunner. I was lucky enough to get pilot today. You can request something. People argue that pilot is the best position because you actually get to fly, but you can request to be the pilot. The gunner's going to shoot at things, the engineer's pushing buttons. Now, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run does have a 40-inch height requirement, so not everyone can fly.
Move on, my friends. See you in the cockpit. I will be in the cockpit, of course. I'm thinking of... You're still here. Go, go.
Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run done. Check. It was a walk-on in the Lightning Lane. I walked straight into the pre-show with Honda, which is where Disney stops the clock for wait. So this is definitely a great attraction to use that Lightning Lane on. Save yourself that hour-long wait or longer, because this one has a very low capacity and a lot of people want to ride it, and they always prioritize the Lightning Lane. So it's going to be long in standby for most of the day, which is why I say rope drop it or do this one last. Okay, so the key to efficiently using the Lightning Lane system is the same as the key to efficiently using FastPass Plus, and that is to always have one. So the minute you scan in for your attraction, book your next attraction. Most attractions, you're going to have to tap your band twice, once at the entrance, once when you are merging in with the other line. And as soon as you tap your band that second time, if there is one, you can book another one, even though you're physically on the ride or you're about to physically be on the ride. Genie doesn't know that I'm physically sitting on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. It just knows that I tapped my band in. So while I was walking between the pre-show and the chess room, if you will, I went ahead and booked another Lightning Lane. And I was kind of thinking, what am I going to do? Hollywood Studios poses a particular problem with booking things and planning because of the shows. Unlike rides that have hundreds of different wait times, shows have a very set amount of times they happen a day, and therefore a very set amount of return windows. For example, Beauty and the Beast, there's only 5 Beauty and the Beast shows today. 5. That's only 5 chances to see the show and 5 chances to use the Lightning Lane. Unlike an attraction that could have a return time at 10, 10:05, 10:10, 10:15, 10:20, etc., there's only one time per show that has a return. It's about 20 minutes before the show starts, and the window's only 15 minutes long. So for the 11 a.m. Beauty and the Beast show, the return window is 10:40 to 10:55. And after 10:40, it's not going to be an option anymore. And if you wanted to book Beauty and the Beast, even if it's 10:41, you wouldn't be able to book it to the next one, which isn't until the 1 p.m. show. I know this is very complicated, but the shows pose an interesting dilemma when booking things in Hollywood Studios, because there's a set number of them and a set number of return windows, unlike an attraction. So I'm gonna try and see the first Beauty and the Beast show, which the return window starts at 10:40, but I wanted to see if I could sneak in another attraction beforehand, and I was able to book Star Tours for 10:15. So we're headed to Star Tours now, and then hopefully gonna still be able to book that 10:40 Beauty and the Beast once we get off, or once we tap it. This also has a 40-inch height requirement, and it's also a simulator about Star Tours, but it's not interactive the way Smuggler's Run is. But what's cool about it is the adventure can change. There's over 50 different situations you could see, so you might see different villains, you might see different planets, you might see different characters, so it's fun to ride it over and over again if you're a Star Wars fan and don't get motion sick.
No, that's not. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Star Tours is not one that normally gets a very long line. Most of the time throughout a normal day, it's 15 minutes or less. It's a little bit longer right now since the park is crowded first thing in the morning, but truly in the afternoon, this will drop to a walk-on unless it's a really busy day. So I don't necessarily recommend using Genie here if you're prioritizing other rides, but if you have it and you're strategizing, why not use it everywhere? Thank you. And now that I have scanned in at the second point, I'm gonna go ahead and book number 2. Or number 3, we're already on 3. Good for us.
In order to keep you safe, I have been programmed to recognize all forms of suspicious human behavior.
Beneath your seats.
This ride makes me really nauseous, but I will ride it for science. And also, maybe today's the day I'm the Rebel Spy. I never have been in my whole life. So maybe it's today.
No one on this transport could possibly be on
My dream! Y'all, not only was I the Rebel Spy for the first time in my whole life, Poe Dameron came to save me. Normally it's like Lando Calrissian or Princess Cinnabon, but Poe came. He knew I was the spy. What a great day. All right, now we are headed to Beauty and the Beast live on stage. Thank you. Thank you. Beauty and the Beast Live on Stage is about a 30-minute show telling the story of the Beauty and the Beast. I really enjoy live entertainment in the Disney parks, and even though this one's been around for a very long time, literally over 20 years, it's been around since Beauty and the Beast, the movie came out. Fun fact, this debuted in this park the day that the movie went to theaters in 1991. But I still enjoy it. This is one, again, I don't think you necessarily need a Genie Plus for, and it's, like I said, hard to navigate shows sometimes on Genie Plus, but it's nice to know, especially on a busy day. I'm walking up just a few minutes before showtime, and I'm gonna have a seat. It's not necessarily the best seat, but it's a seat. And on a busy day, you can't always guarantee that, so that's why Genie Plus is beneficial for shows. I love Beauty and the Beast Live on Stage so much, I cried and ruined my makeup as if I haven't seen the show before. There's eyeliner all over my eye. Like I don't know the end of Beauty and the Beast, the movie or the show, because spoiler alert, it's the same. What's wrong with me? Anyway, I love live entertainment. That's one of my favorites, and that's probably the best of the live entertainment that's open right now in this park. Okay, friends. It's time to talk about the 120-minute rule. It's incredibly confusing, and a lot of people are asking a lot of questions about it, so I'm going to do my best to break it down and talk you through why I just did the things I did. For the record, once I tapped into Beauty and the Beast, I started looking for a Slinky Dog Dash pass. I knew it would be far out later today, but that's fine. I did that strategically. There's a reason I didn't book Slinky first thing this morning. Originally when I looked, it said there were no times available for Slinky Dog. So what I did, pro tip, I removed everything out of my top selections that wasn't Slinky Dog so that it was the first thing on my tip board and the only thing at the top of my tip board. I started refreshing. That's just pulling down and letting it load again. Pull it down and let it load again. Slinky Dog popped up, I would click to book it and it would say, sorry, you missed it, or it would error out. It did that 4 times. It would pop up and I would try to book it and it would say no. But we persevered. We did not lose hope. And eventually I was able to book Slinky Dog for 8 o'clock tonight. 8 p.m. At 11 a.m. I booked a pass for Slinky at 8 p.m. Now, this is where the 120-minute rule comes in. You can book a pass. You can book a Genie Plus Lightning Lane pass. Forget fancy rides. Those do not exist in our world right now. You can book a Genie Plus Lightning Lane pass. As soon as you use the one you have, if your window expires or 120 minutes from when you booked that pass, whichever comes first. Okay? So, currently I hold an 8 o'clock at night Slinky Dog Dash pass. I could book another pass at 8 o'clock after I tap into Slinky Dog. At 9 o'clock, should I not go to Slinky Dog and my window expires, or in 120 minutes from when I booked Slinky Dog, which was at 11:05. So I cannot book another Genie Plus Lightning Lane until 1:05. Does that help understand it? I know, it's incredibly confusing. So why didn't I book Slinky Dog first thing this morning? Why? It was available. Why didn't I book it? It would have been like an 11 o'clock, noon o'clock, 1 o'clock. Slinky Dog was available at 7 a.m. Why wouldn't I do that? Well, friends, the caveat to this already incredibly confusing rule is that if you book one, your 120 minutes doesn't kick in until the park opens. So even if I had booked it at 7, the system won't start counting 120 minutes till 9, which means I couldn't have booked anything from 9 to 11. If I had a 1 p.m. Slinky Dog pass walking into this park at 9 a.m., I would not have been able to book anything until 11 a.m. Now, if you're rope dropping, go ride a bunch of stuff before 11 a.m. and you will get a lot done. But that's not the point of this day. So that is why I strategically booked Smuggler's Run, the second hardest pass, within the first hour of the park being open. I hope that made sense. So, what do we do now? Now we have 2 hours of essentially dead time or cool down time while I wait to be able to book another Genie Plus pass. So what do we do? Well, first, I strategically planned when thinking about my day to try and get Slinky Dog when I walked into Beauty and the Beast. Why? Because that's a 30-minute show. I'm not gonna ride a ride when I'm watching Beauty and the Beast. 2, after looking at the Beauty and the Beast show times, I strategically bought my Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway Pass for $11.40 to $12.40 because now I'm gonna go use a lightning lane in between my cool down time. Sure, I spent extra money to buy Mickey and Minnie's, but that's what we're doing today. And 3, I'm gonna use this time to eat for the first time today and go have a nice lunch. So I'm gonna do those 3 activities during my 2-hour cool down, and then I didn't really waste any time. You tell me, did I lose 2 hours? We already saw a show. We're gonna go ride a ride. We're gonna eat a sandwich. So you tell me if I wasted time. I don't think I did. But the reason I did it this way is because I didn't want 2 cool down periods in this hectic day, which is why I went for Smugglers first, because if you're booking things in this park, you are likely gonna hit a cool down time for Smugglers and Slinky. So you should book one of those first, so you only trigger 1 cool down time when you're in the park, which is why I fiddled and I faddled to get Smugglers early this morning. Before we jump in line for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, we're gonna go to the dining tip board right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and order some food for lunch at ABC Commissary. The reason I'm doing this before I ride is that, as you saw, it was 20 minutes out from right now that the window started, so that should work out perfectly, that by the time I'm off the ride, I can go pick up my food and not have to stand around and wait for my food to be ready. So I am gonna go with one of my favorite things in this park, an underrated specialty, the buffalo chicken grilled cheese. It is absolutely delicious, friends, but I'm gonna get I think we'll do a little salad action. Yum, let's get that. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is no longer the newest ride in Walt Disney World. That's now Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, but it's certainly the newest ride in this park. It is a family attraction, no height requirement, anyone can ride it, and it puts you inside of a cartoon with Mickey and Minnie and the gang. I do think this ride's super duper cute. I really like it. I think the technology is very impressive with the mapping, as well as all the thrill they can put into a no height requirement ride, so I love it. It cost me $8 though to book the lightning lane for it. Right now the posted wait time is an hour, so is an hour worth $8 per person to you? Only you can make that decision, but I do think this is less of a need for a lightning lane than Rise, because this one will tend to drop, especially in the afternoons. But let's go see Mickey and Minnie. Now, one thing I want to note about the Fancy Rides TM, once you buy them, they are yours. That is the time you are riding that attraction. There are no cancellations. There are no modifications. It is like buying a movie ticket. If you buy a 6 o'clock movie, you are seeing the 6 o'clock movie. So I booked the 11:40 to 12:40 Mickey and Minnie's Rise the Resistance. What a ride that would be. Just imagine it. It's like, instead of fighting Kylo Ren, they're fighting Peg like Pete. So make sure when you're booking them that you are going to be able to make it at that time. Now I know what you're thinking. What if Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is broken during the time I want to ride it? Well, it will be a case-by-case basis based on what time it is, what attraction it is, if the attraction's going to be down all day, or if it's just maybe closed for weather or something in the case of like Expedition Everest, which is a fancy ride over at Animal Kingdom. On the first day of Genie, I had purchased Rise of the Resistance, and it was down, so I was issued a pass to come back anytime in the afternoon once the ride was working again. But what was really interesting and is great to know is that I was also able to book a third fancy ride because the Rise of Resistance pass no longer counted against me. So in one day I was able to do Rise of Resistance, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and Frozen Ever After. All 3 are fancy rides because Rise is now considered a different thing. We'll definitely link my Genie 101 video because it goes through everything in more detail as far as like how the system works and your basics.
Oh, I am old school to take a ride on the train.
Mickey and Minnie's is oh so cute. Do I think it's a good use of a fancy ride? I certainly don't if you're park hopping. This is not one of the ones you want to prioritize. The ones that continuously sell out are Rise the Resistance and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. In fact, Rise the Resistance appeared to be sold out this morning at 10 a.m. So, however, if you are only coming to this park, it depends how much money you want to spend, honestly. I didn't want to wait in an hour line. I would not recommend waiting in an hour line for that, so I didn't have to wait and I paid $8. But I know that adds up real quick when you've got more than one person. So I think Mickey Minnie's you don't need to pay. It's also probably not going to sell out, so if you get here and you're like, oh man, it's not going down, the weight's not dropping all day, I'll go ahead and buy it. I don't think it's one you need to be prioritizing at 9 a.m. to buy right that minute like I did with Rise this morning. But it will usually, if you rope drop it, if you are an early park entry guest or a resort guest, prioritize Rise, then come here. You can probably get on it pretty quickly, or later in the evening it usually drops as well. My order is ready. It did take maybe 5-7 minutes or so standing outside the restaurant for that to pop up. It is peak lunchtime. It's 12:30 right now, so just always keep in mind to be patient, and if possible with your schedule, you'll likely have less of a wait if it is off-peak meal time. But still not too long, and we're gonna enjoy a nice sandwich because we got nothing but time right now. I still have 30 minutes before I can book another pass. Got my lunch. So this is the buffalo chicken grilled cheese. I'm obsessed with it. It's grilled sourdough, and then it's got buffalo chicken, 4 different kinds of cheeses, and then it's served with buffalo sauce. And then I like to get this arugula farro salad. It's got Granny Smith apples, dried cranberries, pecans, fake Parmesan. It's actually plant-based, and it's surprising that I like it, but I do. But I don't love it. I just didn't want fries, which was my other choice, because I want to eat more snacks later, so I don't want to fill up right now. Really such a good sandwich. Really creamy, hint of buffalo, not super hot, really buttery bread. This is ABC commissary, and it used to be very low on my eat list, but now it's like very, very high. Because of this, they've got tacos now, they've got some bowls. They really had a glow up, and it's a great spot to come. Plus it's inside, just get a little AC. So, definitely recommend it here. Love the apples in that, like the crisp arugula. And lucky for me, you can't really taste the fake cheese because I do not like fake cheese. But, having myself a nice little lunch. And then we'll book another Genie in a minute. I don't know the last time in one of these challenge videos I actually sat down and ate lunch for like 30-40 minutes. It was lovely. Pro tip. Set an alarm for your cool down period expiration. So mine was at 1:05. I set the alarm for 1:04 so I'd not lose any time. And I kind of had my eye on Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Toy Story Mania, because those are kind of the big ones I have left to book. None of those were anytime soon, so I settled on a Muppets for 5 minutes from when I was booking, just because I still got to worry about the shows. You got to navigate those show times. There's not any show times for like an hour, so I figured Muppets would be a good one to knock out. Muppet Vision 3D is a national treasure, and if it ever goes away, I will chain myself to the building. But it's a 3D show with, of course, the Muppets. It's really cute. It's really fun. Definitely not one you normally need to use a Genie Plus on. It usually has just about a 10-minute wait. It's just usually until you get into the next show. But on a busy day, having Lightning Lane will pretty much guarantee that you get into the next show.
There are no drinks or food permitted.
Miss Piggy is me.
We do ask you to have your
When
face
traveling,
covered
this is what I look like.
at all times.
Satin evening gowns,
And enjoy the
more
show.
satin evening gowns, the rest of the satin evening gowns. That is me when I travel. But it looks like, oh my gosh, the show doors are opening right now. What perfect timing on our part.
Hey, look! Look at the guy in the goofy mask!
I do think Muppet Vision 3D is so cute. It's fun. It's a great filler attraction in between some other things. You definitely don't need to use a Lightning Lane there at all. But next Lightning Lane, we are headed to Alien Swirling Saucers in Toy Story Land. So there's 2 shows coming up, the Disney Junior show and the Frozen show. And I was hoping to sneak in something before those. Those start times are at 2:05 and 2:30. And remember, those will fall off, and those are the only times you can go to that next show. I was able to keep refreshing until Alien Swirling Saucers popped up for about 15 minutes from now. So that's where we're headed. Make sure that you don't get got by the Genie. I got a few times just now, where sometimes it'll say like, it said 2 o'clock Toy Story Mania, and I thought, oh, I'll go do that. And then when I clicked it and it pulled up the reservation, it said I was booking like 3:40. Excuse me, Genie, that's rude. So make sure when you click into things that it's still displaying the right time that you want. But that just means that between this microsecond of me seeing it and clicking it, someone else booked the upcoming reservation. It's time to ride Alien Swirling Saucers. This is definitely the like C-ticket attraction in the Toy Story Land. Your number one is for sure Slinky Dog, and number two is Toy Story Mania. And Alien Swirling Saucers is cute. It's just not a must-do for most people. Kids tend to like it, and it'll make you smile, but I wouldn't wait too long for it. Right now it has a 35-minute wait, which is longer than I would ever recommend riding it, especially because it will definitely drop throughout the day. But we have a lightning lane, so let's go. Alien Swirling Saucers done. Is it a must-do? Probably not for most people. Are you gonna smile when you ride it? Probably, because if you don't, what's wrong with you? It is so cute. I smile every time because I like the idea of being like slung across, and it's cute. I wouldn't wait a long time for it, but it's a good one to book for Genie if you have that, or just go later in the day and it won't be too long. But I booked Frozen whilst waiting in line. I fiddled around a little bit to see if anything popped up earlier for like Tower or Coaster, but nothing did, so it's on to Arendelle. The Frozen window starts now. The return times again for shows are only 15 minutes because there's a set show time. So it's from 2:05 to 2:20, and then the show itself starts at 2:30. So between me and you, we have a little bit of time. So we're gonna get more coffee. It's time for an afternoon pick-me-up. We've had a hard day so far. It was the same cast member as this morning, so. We looked at each other in the eyes. She knew. Oh my gosh, wait, I think Mickey and the gang are coming. What great timing. I'm having the best day. We've had a hard day so far. Donald! Who's that? And Mickey! Oh, me too! I don't know if Genie Week has like made me so tired and loopy that I'm uncontrolled with my emotions or what, but I was tearing up watching Mickey and the gang, and then this sweet family behind me starts yelling, "Mickey, you're our hero!" Like the little kids. Okay, get it together. It's time for Frozen. If you're unfamiliar, this is the Frozen Sing-Along, officially titled for the first time in forever, a Frozen Sing-Along Celebration TM. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a sing-along show with the narrators of Arendelle. They're gonna have you sing along clips from the movie, and of course there will be some surprise appearances from Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff. It's actually super funny, and the narrators are very funny even for adults, and I secretly, not so secretly, love this show.
Are you wearing shorts or pants?
Chance.
Pants?
Yeah, it's a good thing he's wearing gloves.
Why?
Otherwise, she'd need some hand sanitizer.
Kristoff, I am your father.
Y'all, I think the Frozen show is one of the most underrated things in Walt Disney World. It is so funny. I laugh out loud every single time. Normally it's at the storytellers, and I did laugh at them, but this time after Elsa came out, Kristoff just looks at the ice thing after she was gone and mouths, "She in there all the time."
Although the ending felt strange.
And I lost it. Okay, first of all, don't even act like you don't like the song Let It Go, because you do. And if you say you don't, you're lying. You're not too cool to admit it. It's a great song, and you and I both know it. But it's fun. It's in air conditioning. It's funny. The kids like it. It's quick. I really enjoy it, and I think it's an awesome addition here at Hollywood Studios. You probably don't need Genie for it. It doesn't usually fill up, but it can. So get there a little earlier if you're not going to use Genie, but you can always use Genie if you want to. What I would recommend for most people is things at this point. The rides I've left are 3 big ones: Toy Story Mania, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Tower of Terror. And for the most part, they're all like about an hour and a half to 2 hours or so away when I look at the tip board. For most people, I would recommend just going ahead and booking one of those and then going to things like the Frozen show in the meantime, and just not using the lightning lane. But that's not what today's about. Speaking of what's next, I was going to book, I actually did book the 3:10 return window for the Disney Junior show, the last of our shows. But then I started to fiddle-a-faddling and I found a 3:45 for Tower of Terror. So I had to cancel my 3:10 for the Disney Junior show. You cannot modify. If you want to book something else, you have to just go cancel the other one and then rebook the new one. So it is a risk you're taking that it might be gone. But I was able to book a 3:45 at Tower of Terror, and that's in about 30 minutes or so. So we're going to one of my favorite places that hasn't been reopened for that long. We got 30 minutes to kill. What else are we gonna do? The Brown Derby Lounge has several cocktails. They are known for these two things. They do flights of either margaritas or martinis. So you can do a flight of them and they'll bring them out in like little glasses, or you can grab just one of them big. They also have some classics here like the Manhattan, the Old Fashioned, the Grapefruit Cake Martini, they're known for that because of the grapefruit cake from the original Hollywood Brown Derby out in California. And then they also have the full restaurant menu here. So if there's anything you'd like to eat, you could do that right here. There's also not on this menu, but for the lounge only, they have BLT sliders made with pork belly. Unfortunately for me, they do not have the Cobb salad lounge size anymore. You can still order the full-size Cobb salad from inside, but they used to have like a smaller version just for out here on the patio, and that's not back yet. This is the signature pomegranate martini. It's absolute citron vodka, pomegranate liqueur, and cranberry juice. I really like their martini flight. I prefer it over the margarita flight because they're less sweet, but I figured instead of a flight, that seemed a little over the top for right now. We only have 30 minutes to kill, not a long time. So we're just going to have ourselves a martini and people watch at one of my favorite places. Cheers to the return of the fiddle faddle. Oh, it's so good. It's definitely a martini. You can taste the alcohol, but it's like cut a little bit by the tartness of the lemon, the citron liqueur, and then it's got a little bit of the pomegranate in it. It's not too sweet. It's more tart. I'm not a huge sweet drink fan, as you know probably if you've watched my videos before, but this I find very refreshing and nice and simple, and I literally love sitting here. It's time for the Hollywood Tower Hotel. Now, it only has a 30-minute posted wait right now, which is definitely not long for such an iconic attraction. This is one that will get long during the day, but it should drop just like we're seeing now. But still a great use of your Genie Plus because it's a fan favorite. And don't forget, you can only use Genie Plus once at each attraction, but you can ride standby as many times as you want. So if you love this ride, you could go standby forever. Tower of Terror has a 40-inch height requirement, and it is that haunted hotel themed drop attraction. Of course, it's all about the Twilight Zone here. You will hop into that library. It's so good. It's a classic. It's a must-do when you're at Hollywood Studios, and it's great that the line isn't too long, so you can ride it more than once if you want to. So, whilst moving between the pre-show and boarding the elevator, I looked and saw what I could book again. I ended up booking at $450 for Rock and Roller Coaster, which is in about 30 minutes. Other than that, I still need to do Toy Story Mania, and I still need to do the Disney Junior show. There's a Disney Junior show pretty soon, so I might switch Rock and Roller Coaster for that instead of waiting for 30 minutes. I gotta figure out what to do, but we're making good time. But we're gonna hit a point where I have to wait again, which is fine. But I don't want to. Hold on, I need sunglasses. Okay, ultimately I decided to cancel my $450 Rock and Roller Coaster and book the $435 Disney Junior Dance Party, and I'll tell you why. There is only one other Disney Junior Dance Party after this next one, and I just don't want to risk something wild happening when we're having such great success. Like, what if I get trapped on Rock and Roller Coaster and I'm not able to come to the dance party or something? I don't know. Seems like a gamble since there's only 2 left, but there's plenty of park time left to get our remaining actual rides, Rock and Roller Coaster and Toy Story Mania. So we're gonna go dance it up with Mickey for a little bit.
All right, my love, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's party.
Got you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
The Disney Junior Dance Party definitely has a key demographic. It's small children and their parents. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a dance party with characters from Disney Junior like Vampirina and Mickey and Timon. So most adults probably don't need to see this. Most older kids don't need to see this, but for your little ones, it's a lot of fun. And it's only a little weird that I'm a grown adult in here by myself.
Shoulders, reach all the way back.
I try to be inconspicuous in this.
It's like about 1,000 Bring it down, come on.
The Disney Junior Dance Party, they've changed a couple things since they've reopened. The characters obviously don't get close to each other. They don't do the like dramatic spin them in thing because that had a prop that kids would touch. And they don't do as many of the like things coming out of the ceiling like they used to do, leaves and water and stuff like that. They still do bubbles, but I presume that's because like when stuff comes out of the ceiling, every kid confetti, like they run at it and get all over each other and that's fun, but not right now. So they still do bubbles. It's still really cute. I think your little kids are gonna like it. All the kids in there were having a good time. But now we've run into a little pickle, friends. I straight up fiddle-faddled for like 5 minutes, just pulling and letting go and pulling and letting go. And I thought, did I make a huge mistake getting rid of Coaster before the Disney Junior show? But finally, a 5:50 for Toy Story Mania came up, which is in about 35 minutes. So what does one do when one has a few minutes to kill before their 5:50 boarding group to Toy Story Mania? One buys Cat Saka's Outpost mix, of course. This is my favorite treat in Galaxy's Edge, and they were out of it the other day when I was here for the first day of Genie Plus, and I had to get the buttered blue grains, which is just regular popcorn, but way saltier, and I didn't like it. But this tastes like spicy tricks, and I love it. Toy Story Mania is the OG attraction that was Toy Story themed in this park. It is that interactive 3D game ride that puts you inside carnival games with all the Toy Story characters. There's no height requirement and it is so much fun. And I am excited to tap in and then hope to get Rock and Roller Coaster as soon as possible. Hey Buzz, do you think I'm gonna get Rock and Roller Coaster and finish the challenge? Thanks Buzz for always believing in me. Ugh, Jessie. I did hit a little backup here in the Lightning Lane queue. This is the first time I've hit a backup all day. It's a good time to remind you that the Lightning Lane doesn't necessarily mean there will be a wait. It'll just be significantly lower than the standby queue. So I don't think this is gonna take that long. I think they're just probably had a wheelchair party load or like hit a crowd of a bunch of people coming all at the same time, but just a friendly reminder that you may have to wait a few minutes, but usually not very long. It took mere moments to clear that up, get my glasses and tap it again. So now I'm just gonna keep fiddle-faddling to get Rock and Roller Coaster. I just adore that attraction. I have so much fun every time I ride it. Also, y'all, I was in the line waiting to board and I kept refreshing and the only times for Rock and Roller Coaster coming up were like 8:30, which is a lot happening at 8:30. If I have rides to 7:15 to 8:15, Slinky Dog from 8 to 9, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I wanna watch the nighttime show here, which starts at 9, but then 6:10 showed up at 6:01, 9 minutes. It's after 6:10 already. I'm already in my window for Rock and Roller Coaster. Rock and roll. Have you guys ever noticed that the headlights come on the limo here at night? Very fun detail. I adore Rock and Roller Coaster. Don't tell anyone, but I actually like it more than Tower of Terror. The actual ride itself, obviously the theming at Tower is better. Speaking of theming, what's happening here? Looks like the guitar is under refurb. But Rock and Roller Coaster has a 48-inch height requirement, the tallest inside a Walt Disney World theme park. It is the only attraction that goes upside down as well. It goes up 0 to almost 60 in 2.8 seconds, and it is so much fun. This is definitely one that I'm seeing a big impact from the Lightning Lane. Still has a posted 60-minute wait, which Tower next door has 30-minute wait. Normally, Coaster and Tower are pretty similar, but Lightning Lane's definitely affecting standby on some attractions more than others. It's all about capacity because, of course, they give priority to Lightning Lane. So some rides you'll see haven't really changed that much as far as what their standby waits look like, and some have shot up.
Sorry, folks, we gotta go.
Spent a few moments just enjoying sunset at dusk, and now it's already time to head to Rise of the Resistance. And by already time, I mean I booked this, I booked it at 9 a.m. on the dot. It's now after 10. I can do math. I can't. It's been a long day. I booked this 10 hours ago, and it's time to ride it finally. So let's go save the galaxy. Rise of the Resistance is for sure the best ride in Walt Disney World. Now don't forget, best and favorite are different things. You can have your favorite. I have my favorites. It's not Rise either, but I'm saying best as in most impressive technology, most immersive, an incredible experience. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's not my favorite, but it's in my top 5 for sure. It's a 20-minute plus experience with multiple ride systems that's going to put you into the Star Wars story, where you are helping Rey and Finn and Poe fight the First Order. Oh, it's amazing. It has a 40-inch height requirement, and don't forget the fancy passes for this were gone at 10:10 a.m. They were $15, but they were gone by 10:10. And it's had a pretty long wait all day. It's down to 80 now. I don't know if it really is 80, but it's a posted 80. It's had a very long wait all day, so this is one I think you may want to consider spending that money on, so you can save yourself several hours in line, possibly. Let's go see Poe! As to what people say down in the comments, leave me your opinion. Is paying $15 a person better or worse than the lottery system of the virtual boarding group? Because it's only been standby very recently, and it has a very long line for standby. But with the virtual boarding group, you could have only ridden it once, maybe. Plus, it was very stressful. Versus paying $15 and you can at least ride it again, because you can do standby and pay for it, but guarantee to ride it pending technical difficulties for $15. This is the one that of the fancy rides, this is the one I most think is worth it and the one I will most recommend buying. Also, I wanted to talk about something as we head to Slinky Dog, our very last attraction. Can you believe it? I can't believe we are doing it. But I wanted to talk about something. I've been getting lots of messages all day from people following along this adventure on Instagram, which is so great. So please follow us on Instagram if you're not already. We post fun stuff like Q&As and follow along days in the parks. But a lot of people are asking if I can do this experiment with multiple people because it's harder to book Genie Pluses with multiple people. And I want to point out that that's not true. It is no more difficult to book with multiple people for Genie Plus. I asked this to the cast members. I asked this to people that developed the software. That's how I know this. It's not like FastPass Plus. Remember, this is like old paper FastPass. So remember, if you walked up to the FastPass kiosk and you're a party of 2, it said the same time as if the person right next to you was with a party of 8. It was the same times. This is how this system works. It's first available. It does not matter for the Genie Plus rides. It might matter for fancy rides, but for the Genie Plus rides, it does not matter if you're booking with 2, you're booking with 8, you're booking with 12. Working with 6. Anything in any normal group size, basically, it's pulling the same amount of stuff. So hopefully that helps some of you. You also, speaking about booking with groups, you do not have to book everyone on the same rides. People can ride different things. People don't have to ride everything. But as long as you're all linked up, you can book your friends on rides too. So hopefully that helps answer that question. That is one thing I like a little bit more about Genie Plus versus FastPass Plus, is that your group size doesn't impact your chances and your ability to book things. For the fancy rides, it might a little bit. but not the regular Genie ones. I adore this land at night. It is so much fun at night. Look how great this is. I am so glad we're riding Slinky Dog in general, but I actually love this ride at night, and I prefer it at night because this land looks so great all lit up. So I'm excited to end on Slinky Dog. I can't believe we're riding Slinky Dog, a ride I booked 8 hours ago, right? No, 9 hours ago. And I can do math. Another question I have gotten several times about Genie Plus is asking if I'm on my phone a lot. Yes, but I was on my phone a lot on FastPass Plus too, because I never just got 3 FastPasses. So it's kind of I maybe have a skewed answer compared to some people, because if you were maximizing FastPass Plus, you were on your phone a lot too. So I don't see that you're really on your phone that much more. Because if you were efficiently using FastPass Plus and the app, looking at the wait times and modifying your FastPasses and adding more FastPasses after your initial 3, you were always on your phone a lot. So, are you on your phone a lot more than paper FastPass? Of course. But I don't see that you're on it significantly more than with regular FastPass Plus. So hopefully that helps. I really like the tip board feature. Again, that's free. So I recommend anybody use that. There it is, friends. We just tapped into our final lightning lane of the day. We did it! I wasn't sure how to navigate this new system, but we did it. 13 hours after I started booking passes and 11 hours after I got into the park, we did every single lightning lane in Disney's Hollywood Studios, 13 in total. Woo! What a day! So, what did we learn from this experiment? We learned that anything is possible if you follow your dreams. That's not what we learned, but we did learn that. But that's not the point. The point is, Genie Plus can be a very, very helpful tool, and you can use it to its extreme if you are strategic. Now, I wouldn't say that Genie Plus or free Genie are substitutes for being park savvy and knowing the park. You still need to know what time to book things. You still need to understand what's a good use of a Genie Plus pass and what's not. So keep reading, keep watching our videos. That's why we're here. To help you strategize in the park. I would say Hollywood Studios is probably the second best park to buy Genie Plus at this point. I think Magic Kingdom is definitely going to be number 1 because there's so many attractions, but there's a lot of heavy hitters here, and it's great to be able to bypass those lines. I would say most of the shows you probably don't need to use your Genie Plus, and use those shows in between the attractions when they are being booked a little further out. I was just impatient today and kept refreshing and refreshing. So I think you can have a great day with Genie Plus. I think you can have a great day without Genie Plus. But hopefully these tips and tricks throughout the day about planning your 120-minute window, planning which attractions are best using Genie Plus, looking at what the app physically functions and looks like. Hopefully that was helpful as well. I'm going to celebrate this incredible victory by going to watch The Wonderful World of Animation, which is the projection show on the Chinese theater. And I recommend you do it as well if you're in this park that late. Also check out the Beacon of Magic over on Tower of Terror for the 50th. But I had a lot of fun today. I enjoy doing these challenges. We're going to do one in every park. We're going to do more 2-person challenges where we see the best ways to utilize these different functions. Let us know what ideas you have for challenges down in the comments. We know Genie Plus is here and it's confusing, and hopefully these are helping. So that's a wrap on my Genie Plus experiment here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It was very successful, so I'm looking forward to shooting the rest. Let us know what other Genie Plus content you want down in the comments. In the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media at AllEars.net. And until next time, friends, I'm Molly, and it's been so magical.
Want to see more of my videos? Click over here. Want to subscribe? You can do that right here. And also, ring that notification bell to make sure you get instantly notified anytime we post a new video. Thanks for following. See you real soon.